The Fox 5 News at 11, another storm in San Diego, how the city is preparing for a wet weekend. Then we're on top of breaking news. A chase ends with a wild head-on crash. And new tonight, sneaky thieves caught red-handed. The Fox 5 News at 11 starts now.
Live from San Diego, this is the Fox 5 News at 11.
The Fox 5 radar is fired up tonight as another storm moves in right now. Good evening. I'm Kathleen Bathe. Thunder, lightning, and heavy rain are expected to cause a mess this weekend. We have team coverage tonight, monitoring the weather and storm preparations where you live. We start in Mission Bay, where it just started raining again, and water rescue teams are prepared for the very worst. Fox 5's Jamie Chambers joins us live with what he's learned tonight. Jamie.
Well, Kathleen, the rain's been coming down hard. We've also felt the wind really start to pick up, but the swiftwater rescue teams have been building and preparing all day long, and every single one of their units is now ready to roll.
4 or 5 units directly in front of us, and we have a couple other swiftwater units in the back of our yard.
That's right, yeah.
Ready for full deployment.
The throw bags are packed, and the San Diego Lifeguard Swiftwater Rescue teams are double-checking their personal protective gear and getting ready for a long day as extremely heavy rains are expected to swell rivers, flood channels, and roads.
The San Diego River's predicted to rise anywhere from 9 feet to 11 feet.
You heard that correctly, 9 to 11 feet, and according to lifeguards, all it takes is 6 inches of fast-moving water to sweep a car off the road or sweep a person off their feet.
River anatomy and dynamics are to be respected, and yes, because it doesn't have to be very deep.
And it's not just rushing water that's a threat to rescuers and victims alike. That's why swiftwater teams wear a sealed dry suit.
It gives you protection, obviously from the elements, but also from the issues with pollution in the water contamination.
Lifeguards will be pre-deployed to Mission Valley, Sereno Valley, the Tijuana River Valley, and this time guards will keep a close eye on National City after the last major flood stranded dozens of cars. Guards say the most vulnerable in the upcoming storm are the homeless people that might hide in the thick vegetation of a riverbed and don't know how dangerous this potential flash flooding could be.
If there's any message to give any people who are habitating any of the areas around or in the rivers, please evacuate.
San Diego lifeguards say they are fully staffed and standing by.
We will be ready.
And they're really worried from about 12 to 5 tomorrow. That's when the rains are supposed to hit the hardest. If you can avoid driving during that time period, absolutely don't drive. If you have to drive and you see major puddles, don't risk your car. Certainly don't risk your life. From Mission Bay, Jamie Chambers, Fox 5 News.
Timely advice. Thank you, Jamie. National City was one of the hardest hit areas by rain back in December, and this weekend things could get just as bad, if not worse. Fox 5's Kasha Gogorchik is live there with more preparations. Kasha.
Well, Kathleen, we caught up with fire officials who are gearing up, getting ready for this weekend, and they say they hope residents are as well. During one of the last major rainstorms in San Diego County, roads became rivers here in National City.
We had an amazing amount of water in a very short period of time. And when that happens, regardless of what kind of sewers and drains and anything that you have, those are going to be overwhelmed. And once they're overwhelmed, the water has to go somewhere.
Dozens of cars were left stranded, and many drivers risked it, driving through flooded streets anyway.
I believe we had between 12 and 17 confirmed water rescues that evening.
That December storm was one of the worst National City Battalion Chief Mike Beveridge has seen in his nearly 30-year career. The National City Fire Department is well-staffed and ready to take on what the weekend may bring, but they don't act alone.
There are lifeguards and water rescue teams that are assigned in the area throughout San Diego.
As always, sandbags are being offered in spots across the county, and residents are highly recommended to take advantage.
If we prepare the worst and we're ready for the worst and the worst doesn't happen, then it's a good day. If it does happen, we're ready to go.
And you may not be able to see it at home, but we can definitely feel it out here. It has started sprinkling, so that winter or weekend storm might be arriving a little soon. Reporting live in National City tonight, Kasha Gogorchik, Fox 5 News.
Kasha, thank you. Let's check in now with meteorologist Aloha Taylor. She can tell you where the storm is right now.
Well, the center of the storm is still pretty far away from us, so we're seeing some of the prefrontal boundary rain bands coming on in. The heavy stuff is coming tomorrow. As we zoom in, you can see who's getting in on some of the rainfall. In and around downtown San Diego, Coronado seeing the showers here as you head up into North Park, South Park, seeing some of that rain. And then Mount Laguna, temperatures right now about 38 degrees, but at the higher elevations, we will likely seeing some snow there. You saw that indicated in white. Center of the storm system here. Again, the heaviest bands are going to be moving through tomorrow into the afternoon. We'll talk about that and how much and how long coming up.
Aloha, thank you. Also a reminder, you can track the weather in your area at any time as it moves into our county. The Fox 5 San Diego mobile app has a live weather tracker. It is handy to have and it's free to download. We're on top of breaking news out of South LA. Wild crash here after a police chase just minutes ago. We brought it to you live first on the Fox 5 News at 10. And tonight the pursuit started when the driver of a silver SUV here ran a red light. It all ended when the driver crashed into several cars. And you see here authorities shot out the back window after the driver came to. That suspect crawled out the back window and was ultimately arrested. We're also monitoring more breaking news for that. Let's throw it over to Phil Blauer.
All right, Kathleen, breaking news right now out of the South Base. Police are looking for a gunman. The shooting happened about 9:40 tonight right here on this bridge on Iris Avenue over the I-5 in Nestor. A caller told authorities that 2 men inside a Ford Explorer pulled up to a stop and then shot the caller's brother before taking off. That victim is now being treated for a wound at a local hospital. No word yet on his condition, but they're looking for that vehicle, that Ford Explorer. Kathleen?
Never in a million years would I think when my husband walked out the door he wouldn't come home.
For nearly a month now, an Oceanside father of 4 has been missing along with his truck. Police are investigating, as well as a private detective who says his disappearance is unusual. Fox 5's Kristen Shanahan spoke with his wife tonight, who tells us her husband would never leave his family.
As you can imagine, she is just devastated over this. She is just hoping that someone out there has some information that will help bring her husband home. Teresa Sturkey said she wouldn't cry during this interview in order to stay strong for her 4 kids. But she couldn't fight back the tears when she recalled the last time she saw her husband, 55-year-old John Sturkey.
I'm Catholic, so I said, let me get your scapular and let me bless you. I said, okay, no. You bless me. And he did.
Then she says he walked out the door.
Never in a million years would I think when my husband walked out the door he wouldn't come home.
The last time she saw John was the evening of January 4th. Teresa says John, an electrician, had come home from work and ate a quick dinner because he was in a rush to get out the door.
He said that there was going to be like an event with some friends, that they were going to do a bonfire and have some, reading stuff that they were going to do.
Concern set in when she woke up the next morning to find her husband wasn't home, and he wasn't answering his phone either. Teresa says through the Find My Phone app, she traced his cell to El Cajon, but didn't find him or his silver 2015 Toyota Tundra there.
He's such a family person. I mean, I've been married 20 years, and he always comes back home.
She says he's not only a family man that deeply loves his kids, but is also very involved in his church and Boy Scouts, and had an upcoming trip that he wouldn't have missed.
I'm scared because this is so unlike him.
John is a man known for loving the outdoors. Teresa tells us it's possible he went to one of his favorite spots like Palomar Mountain, Julian, or the Mud Caves. Teresa says she's hanging on to her faith and praying that he walks back through their front door.
My biggest hope is that he comes back alive and well. The kids need him. I need him.
She also mentioned that he hasn't pulled any money out of the bank. He hasn't used his cards. If you have seen him or his truck, you're asked to call the Oceanside Police Department. Reporting from Oceanside, Kristen Shanahan, Fox 5 News.
Nearly a dozen puppies were stuffed in a sealed bag and left to die at a local park. A Good Samaritan heard one of the dogs barking, went over and found the puppies in a bag near a restroom at Kit Carson Park in Escondido. They took them to the Humane Society. The puppies, 10 to 14 days old, were cold and dehydrated.
Definitely devastating. It's very frustrating as well for us. I mean, we have an open admissions campus here. We are very close to Kit Carson Park. They could have easily brought them to us and said, hey, we don't want them or we need help because we can't care for them.
They've since been treated and moved into foster homes. There is now an investigation to find the person responsible for the animal abuse. Inmates caught busting out of jail tonight, what may have allowed them to escape. Plus, thieves can't hide from doorbell cameras. How police nabbed a porch pirate in a matter of minutes. And a vicious attack on a school bus driver. How a minor accident led up to this beating, all while children were watching.
You're watching the Fox 5 News at 11.